My goals are simple: obtain the best endgame weapons and defeat all of the bosses, all while only relying on melee weapons. Here's a quick recap. There's a Scourge? Check. Eye of Cthulhu? Check. New armor? Check. Floating swords? Check. If you're asking what I'm up to, I'm looking for a bald old guy with glasses, who is incidentally also a goblin underground. Hello, Goblin Tinker. I'll buy your upgrades later. I have more pressing matters. I found out that the Star Wars laser guns have one weakness: sandbox games. And when I say sandbox games, I mean that a single wall and a pickaxe will do. Excuse me? What the hell is a giant clam? Anyway, it's got a health bar, so it's gotta go. Hi from the future again. There's an NPC that spawns after you kill the clam. What I failed to realize is that he's already here, and he's literally right there. We'll see him later. Knogo in the past is so confused he kills another one. Actually, I killed a lot more, but that's another story. I probably killed enough giant clams to make them an endangered species and I didn't get anything. It turns out he doesn't drop anything until hard mode. Anyway, do you know what rhymes with endangered species? That's right, Blood Moon. Here's the guy from before that I was seeking out. It's also time for some accessory crafting now that I've got the Tinker's Workshop, which led me to an unfortunate mistake I won't rectify for quite some time. You see, there's a couple variants of double jump in the game: Cloud, Tsunami, Blizzard, Sandstorm in a bottle, and Sandstorm being the best. Calamity even adds an easy recipe for crafting it too. But there's one more: Fart in a Jar. While it is the second best jump, it makes a fart noise every single time you double jump, and now that I've been watching these recordings back, I want to cry. It's literally just 2 hours straight of fart noises. Just know that I'm suffering for you. Here's the enchanted sword I talked about in episode 1. I go and take a dip in the ocean now that I have armor that supercharges me underwater. After that, I decide to go back up into the sky to get a Star Fury, even though I could have just made one trip and gotten both the enchanted sword and Star Fury in the same trip, and instead decided that a 2-week-long all-expenses-paid vacation to my ocean resort scuba diving had to go in between floating islands number 1 and 2. Trying to figure out what to do next. Acid Rain is on here, but doesn't really do much for a melee-only account. King Slime is also an easy boss I can defeat to just fill the log. There's also one more item I want from Desert Worm, the Arrow Stone. But I'll also probably just kill a whole batch of bosses for some money. The current stock is around 5 plat total now, which is very nice, and it's probably a good enough time as ever to go rematch the Eater of Worlds. And don't worry, I did put the money away. But yeah, after a few attempts, here's a couple clips of me right before I die. Do you see the problem? Let's talk about the fight for a second to put it into perspective. The Eater does very little damage when his body hits you. See here that my life regen even keeps up with the damage that the Eater does. However, his head does a boatload of damage, anywhere from 60 to 80 damage with my current setup, whereas the body deals only about 1 to 5 damage. The problem here is that if I deal too much damage to a middle segment of the worm can split, which means double the number of heads. So here's plan A. Exhibit A1 is where I stay in place using my hook just attacking wildly. Worked pretty well for a little while until the worm split. Exhibit A2 is where I try to use a pool of water to get extra strength. Thus, Exhibit A3 is where I combine both of those strategies, staying in place and using a pool of water for buffs. The worm didn't move exactly as I like in any of these clips, but shows the potential of the strategy. But I'm gonna save myself the headache and go get a weapon upgrade. Cue one of the best tracks in Calamity. Here's Crab, best girl. Also currently stuck. I'm here for the Mycelio Claws. It's an extremely fast attack but a short range, which isn't a problem since the Eater of Worlds likes to charge at you. Of course, content creator luck means I get it on my first kill. Okay, here we go. Not bad, but I'm splitting them too much. How about an unusual tech option here? Spore Knife. It deals a lot less damage per second than the claws. So why a downgrade? Here's the idea. I weaken the segments with a much weaker weapon, and then when the segments are low enough, I switch to the claws and shred the boss. Here's how it went. Pretty good. Which means it's perfect time to have a change of heart. Yes, I change plans faster than your New Year's resolutions. Fight me. For some reason, I decided that normal torches were no longer cool. That's a thing. But yeah, plan B. Big platforms. Stay safe from range and shoot my spear at it. Don't judge me. This isn't a true melee run. This is a melee only run. I probably could have farmed like 2 or 3 more hours looking for the fungal symbiote, but I'm trying to have fun here. Well, you know, here's to another episode of making a plan and doing something completely different, because life is about surprises. Next time, I'll be making upgrades that aren't upgrades, maybe a new hat, and more plans that go nowhere. See you soon.